Alright, fuckers. Corey Margera here. And this is the long-awaited The Rise and Fall of ECW DVD review. Now, before I get started with this fucking review, just gotta put some people over, and I have to give out a few shout-outs. First person I am going to be putting over is fucking the Future King. Alright? I don't know how the fuck you cannot subscribe to this guy. This guy is absolutely fucking amazing. Alright? This is probably one of the best YouTubers aside from myself. Because I'm going to put myself over. Because, not for nothing, I really do feel like me, Salim, the Future King, you know, we're like the few guys who actually do good review. We actually do good videos here on YouTube. I really feel like everyone else is fucking stale. You know, not for nothing, but I don't care. All right, I really do feel like the YouTube community, whether it be the YouTube gaming community or the YouTube wrestling community, the IWC, YWC, all right, the black community on YouTube is just atrocious. It's retarded. I mean, Sotomayor, you know, all these guys are just, it's really getting, it's like, you know, Sotomayor, he tells the truth, but it's just like, oh my God, it's just depressing to watch that shit. You know, and everyone else on YouTube has gone down. Everyone else is getting stale. Bubba Dunk Funkin', I'm sorry, bro. I love you, but you're getting fucking stale. You talk about a PG fucking product that sucks and nobody wants to fucking hear about. Alright? You and Green Psycho 17, your shit is getting stale. And I told you straight up. And you can ask Bobby Johnson, who I'm also going to be giving a shout out in this video to. You know, he's the proof. I told him straight up. I told Bubba Dunk Funkin'. I left him in the comment section. I told you, bro, your shit is getting stale. Do reviews on other shit, dude. Like, seriously, dude. Dude, bro. Bro, dude. Seriously. Do fucking reviews on other shit. Rant about other shit. Alright? We are getting sick and tired of this boring PG shit. We're sick and tired. Oh, Cena sucks. WWE PG sucks. It's like, it's not getting any better. Stop watching it. Do rants on other shit. Alright? And I told him straight up. Seriously, I told him straight the fuck up. Like, do other fucking content. Change your fucking content setup. Like, seriously, look at me. I'm doing videos on all types of shit. I'm bringing it. You know, I make some of the best videos here on YouTube. I'm not trying to put myself over too much, but it's true. It's a fact. I literally, when I get a void and I feel like, holy shit, somebody should be talking about some of this shit, I upload a fucking video on it and no one else does because everyone else is a fucking pussy. All right? Well, the Future King is one of those few people that actually makes good fucking YouTube videos in this modern era. Because the Wrestling Jesus has gotten fucking stale. Bubba Dunk Funkin' is stale as shit. The Bubba Dunk Funkin' Network, that whole shit is stale as fuck. Green Psycho is stale. Seriously, No DQ is fucking boring as shit. El Presador is getting fucking stale. Like, his shit is getting fucking stale. I'm trying to find motherfuckers to watch. The Angry Video Game Nerd, man, he's getting fucking stale. I mean, he's doing videos with Mike Matei and the Nostalgia Critic, Doug Walker, about fucking old review games. He's doing like one every Monday. They play, like, they find some game and they play it and they just do boring commentary over it. Like, seriously, that was cool for a minute, but now that shit's getting old. James Rolfe, you know, I love you, no homo. Change your fucking shit. You know, bring the nerd back. Do something else. Because your shit is getting stale too, bro. I'm just being honest with you. All right? And aside from the Future King and Salim Ibrahim, and most obviously myself, the only other person that's really bringing fresh and innovative quality content here on YouTube is fucking Vince Russo. And I'm gonna put him over like $1,000,000 fucking bucks. Because Vince Russo knows exactly what he's talking about when he's saying we need more entertainment. We need other shit aside from fucking wrestling, which these dumbasses don't want to fucking admit because they're stupid. Vince Russo, you can love him and hate him. It doesn't matter, because the fact of the matter is he's telling you guys the truth, and he tells you guys the truth on a weekly basis. He tells you the truth every time he does the fucking video. Whether it's the Swerve, Bucking Full of Chicken Necks, and all those other shows that he does, Vince Russo, the brand, I am putting him over. I am officially putting this motherfucker over because he deserves it. He is one. He honestly, I would rather a Vince Russo idea over a Vince McMahon idea, or a Triple H idea, or a Dixie Carter idea. Like, seriously. Vince Russo and Jeff Lane, I'm really enjoying a lot of their stuff on the brand. Like, it's only like $3.95. I mean, it's really not that expensive. And even if you don't want to pay for that, just subscribe to Vince Russo's YouTube channel. I'm going to leave a link in the description to Vince Russo's YouTube channel. I really hope you guys check it out, because he really brings some good quality stuff for all the wrestling fans out there. He really, and even if you're not a wrestling fan, he talks about some really other cool shit. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I suggest you subscribe to his fucking channel. A link will be in the description. Vince Russo, man, he's bringing it. He's really bringing it. He's what you dumb fucks are saying about Cena. He's having some of the best matches. No, he's fucking not. But I'll tell you, Vince Russo, a guy who killed WCW and almost killed TNA, he's really bringing it now. All right, he's doing some of the best quality YouTube videos I've seen on YouTube in a long time, and he's just really bringing it. He's really sticking it up some people's ass, and he doesn't believe in burying people. He's a born again Christian. All right, but he's really telling the goddamn fucking truth. So I suggest you subscribe to his channel. He does he does some really cool podcasts. Him and Jeff Lane. Link will be in the description to his YouTube channel. I really want to put Vince Russo over, because he's really doing some phenomenal shit, bro. He's really doing some fucking phenomenal shit. Some really entertaining, interesting stuff. Unlike a bunch of you fucking faggots out there who don't know when your shit gets stale and you don't change shit up. You know? And again, I'd rather deal with the fucking Swerve King, Vince Russo himself, than most of you faggots out there who keep putting on this stale, mediocre shit. Boring shit. Boring fucking YouTube videos that say the same goddamn shit, and it's boring. You don't even add any edge or flavor to it. Nothing. You suck. I'll argue 99% of the YouTube community fucking sucks. Scratch that, 90%, not 99%, because the 10% is me, Salim, fucking the Future King, Vince Russo, and hopefully soon Society Sucks will start making some more fucking videos. You know, because he made a really great rant, and I hope he starts making more fucking videos, because Society Sucks, he's got some good, cool shit to say. Over my bro from the UK, man, you know, he's got some really cool shit to say. But other than that, most of you YouTubers, you people in the YouTube community, need to be ashamed of yourself, because you fucking suck and you're boring as shit. You put on boring fucking videos, whether it be about video games, wrestling, or anything. Music, pop culture, fucking films and stuff. You guys are boring as shit. You're getting stale. You need to fucking step it up. All right? Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, all these faggots suck. PewDiePie sucks. All right? You faggots need to step it up. Even the good guys, Wrestling Jesus, El Presador, you're getting stale. Bubba Dunk Funkin', you're getting stale. You know, James Rolfe, AVGN, he's getting stale. I mean, he's not, the AVGN's not getting stale. James Rolfe is getting stale. Because again, every Monday it's him, Mike Mateo, or him and Nostalgia Critic doing a little commentary, a boring fucking commentary over some game nobody cares about. So yeah, I'm just giving you guys some advice. Get better and step the fuck up. Seriously. Okay, with that said, let's get on to the review here. Because this is one of my favorite wrestling DVDs of all time. It is a great documentary. You know, it's literally, it's over 2 hours. It's like, I don't even keep count. I think it's almost 3 hours. I didn't keep count. I wasn't paying attention to how long the fucking DVD was, but it's a really good detailed documentary about the history of ECW and how the promotion came to be, how it basically started off as Eastern Championship Wrestling, and, you know, how it became the phenomenon that it did, really. It really, I'll be honest with you, if ECW didn't exist, wrestling would just, well, wrestling definitely wouldn't have had the boom period it had. I'll be completely honest with you, because if it wasn't for ECW, you know, the Attitude Era, not saying it wouldn't have happened, probably still would have happened, because, I mean, you have to look at Vince Russo. You know, he's even gone on to say that he loves ECW, he likes it, but he wasn't really inspired by it. He's gone on to say that he's actually been more inspired by Jerry Springer, Howard Stern, you know. And you got to keep in mind, Vince Russo, before he got into the wrestling business, he owned a video store, you know. And he was actually into a lot of movies. So I'm pretty sure Vince Russo was inspired by a lot of other things aside from ECW. But I do think that ECW definitely had an influence on the Attitude Era. To say that it didn't is just foolish. You know, I do think either Vince McMahon or somebody might have said, hey, you know what, maybe we should have a hardcore match. Or obviously you had guys like Mick Foley and Steve Austin there. They probably influenced some ECW stuff into the product. You know, I mean, the hardcore division didn't just come out of nowhere. All right. I know you stole some stuff from ECW, but be that as it may, this was just a great DVD. You know, it starts off, you know, they talk about how, you know, Paul Heyman, how he used to be Paul E. Dangerously. For those of you who don't know the history of Paul Heyman, definitely check out his own DVD. But this DVD actually tells you a little bit about how Paul Heyman was in WCW, you know, during the Bill Watts administration, and how he hated it. You know, he buried WCW in this DVD. I mean, he really, and rightfully so. Rightfully fucking so. Because after doing some research, I didn't watch WCW at the time. But after watching some episodes of WCW Saturday Night during like 1991 and stuff like that, 1992, and just like doing more research about Bill Watts as a human being, I can probably say that I would not want to work in WCW at that point either. I'll just be completely honest with you. But Paul Heyman, you know, he basically, you know, tells it like it is. You know, he explains how, you know, WCW was just sucked and how he wanted to get out of it. And, you know, basically he had a good deal going on with Todd Gordon. And long story short, you know, because I'm not going to tell you every single thing that happened in this DVD. It's a long story, first of all. But they start Extreme Championship Wrestling. But not before Shane Douglas does his epic, and I mean epic, promo, trashing the NWA title. Now, when I first saw this DVD back in 2004, it was 2004 because it was either early 2005 or 2004. Yeah, it was 2004. It was 2004 because I remember I was a sophomore in high school when this DVD came out, and I bought it because I used to watch ECW as a kid. You know, when it was ECW on TNN and Hardcore TV, used to sneak up late and watch it, turn the TV on when parents weren't watching and stuff like that, and watch Hardcore TV at like 1 o'clock in the morning. It used to come on MSG, but and I was just really interested in this DVD. But long story short, Shane Douglas, he basically cuts this epic promo. He basically talks about how all the great champions who held the NWA title, and then he basically says they can all kiss my ass, and he throws the NWA title down. Dennis Corluzzo, he freaks out. He's pissed. There's so many people who are pissed about this in the wrestling business. And, honestly, my opinion is it needed to happen. Sometimes people need to realize that they suck. Again, like earlier that I did in the video where I explained how people were getting stale here on YouTube. Some people in real life need to look in the mirror and realize that they suck and they don't have it anymore, and that they're fucking boring, and that their shit is stale, So I am all for Shane Douglas tarnishing and throwing down the NWA title. Not to disrespect the history of it, but the fact that NWA is dead. What the NWA was, it was dead. It was, by the 1990s, it was dying. It was done. All right? It was over. The territories were done. All right? Shane Douglas, he was in the right when he did this. I agree with Shane Douglas. I think sometimes you need to do something dramatic in this business, and you need to do something that's shocking as fuck. All right? I mean, I've talked to people. I've talked to a few friends online about storylines I would have done if I was in the wrestling business. I would have went to Ferguson, Missouri, and I would have had a self-hating character, Uncle Ruckus, Tommy Sotomayor character, get some heat, like how you're supposed to get fucking heat. I would have said, you know what, you Negroes brought it on yourself, and I would have created a character just like that. And that's what you need to do in this business, and that's the fucking problem with the wrestling business. There are too many politically correct pussies, fucking pussies, who have no fucking balls whatsoever. And that's the fucking problem. That's the problem with our society in general. Not just the wrestling business, but our society in general as a whole. But getting on, Shane Douglas, he trashes the NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling belt, and basically Todd Gordon, he comes out and says, you know what, Eastern Championship Wrestling has folded. Today starts Extreme Championship Wrestling. And this was just epic. And then they start going into all the great feuds that they were having. Tommy Dreamer versus the Sandman, Raven coming into the company, and just, and I personally, Paul Heyman describes in this DVD how much he loves the Raven character, and I couldn't agree more. The Raven character is fucking awesome, and it's just ironic too because Scott Levy is not like that in real life. I mean, you would think a guy like this, who has a character like this, would at least be a little bit like that in real life. Raven is a fucking crazy ass. Scott Levy's a fucking crazy ass. If you've seen some of his shoot interviews, he's nothing like the Raven character. He's nothing like the Raven. He actually has a great mind for the business. And I've said it before. If I can hire 3 people, at least 3 people, I would get Russo, Heyman, and Raven, Scott Levy, on my creative team. If I was starting a wrestling business, I wanted creative writers. Those are the 3 people I would get: Russo, Heyman, and Levy. But, I love the Raven character. And I also, I think, it was just some really cool stuff about, the Raven character that was really, just getting over, like how he crucified the Sandman. I'm all for that. I know that there are some people who are religious out there who hated it, but I personally, I was all for that. They did it in the WWE with Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin, And I'll give Russo the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he probably never saw this. He probably didn't. When the Undertaker crucified Stone Cold Steve Austin, he probably never had anything to do with that. He never. Well, he did have something to do with it, but he didn't watch ECW. You know, because I remember somebody calling Russo out, saying like, "Oh, did you get that crucifixion angle from ECW?" And he was like, "No, he never even knew that they did it." So, you know, I'm willing to give Russo the benefit of the doubt. You know, he probably never saw it, but you know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not getting into that. But, you know, I mean, there was just some really controversial angles, man. I mean, the whole lesbian angle, I was like, yes. I mean, I really wish I was watching ECW at the time it was really that hot. I didn't start watching it until around 1999. You know, when I was in fucking 5th grade and I used to sneak up and watch it. You know, it's kind of like when you're like in your preteen years and you sneak to watch a fucking porno and shit, you know, and have like Playboy magazines or like, you know, it was kind of like that, just to give you an idea. But yeah, those are some good times. But yeah, I mean, I really wished I could have saw ECW in the mid '90s when they were doing that shit, the fucking lesbian angles and shit. You know, that was gnarly. Well, I mean, that was just really crazy stuff. But, you know, they talk about Taz and how he was the Tasmaniac and how he became, you know, Taz, how he decided to become more serious, you know. And I liked that. I've always liked the Taz character too. I've always liked a lot of characters in ECW. They were no nonsense, no bullshit. You know, and that's the thing. We have all these characters now who are so gay and so fucking cheesy and so fucking stupid. You know, and they fucking suck. You know, it's like, give us some characters that we can relate to. I can relate to, you know, a Taz. I can relate to a Raven character. You know, I can look at guys like Rob Van Dam and Sabu and just be like, wow, these guys are great. These guys are fucking awesome. You know, Mick Foley, you know, they go in a little depth on Mick Foley, how he was in ECW, you know, for a little bit, you know, Mikey Whipwreck, and, you know, they show a little bit of Stone Cold Steve Austin in ECW before he was Stone Cold. You know, he was still Steve Austin. He still had a little bit of hair left and shit, you know, but it was good stuff. It really was. It was really some good stuff. You know, and I actually liked Stone Cold's hairstyle. He had like this really cool buzz cut going on when he was in ECW. He had like he almost, what's his name? It reminded me of. Well, anyway, that's not important. I thought it was a cool little buzz cut he had there, and you know, it was good shit. You know, ECW was good shit. You know, I personally feel like, you know, and again, there's too much to talk about. They talk about the mass transit incident a little bit. They don't go into depth about it. And that's kind of what I liked about the other DVD. There was another DVD called Hardcore Homecoming. It was another Forever Hardcore or something like that. I was watching it on YouTube, and they go over that mass transit incident with a lot more detail than they did in this DVD. You know, they talk about how New Jack, you know, New Jack was fuck New Jack. And for all the people out there, you know, this is another thing about the black community that really pisses me off. There's so many fucking people out there like New Jack who think they're gangster, who think they're all this hot shit, this tough shit. You know, fuck New Jack. He's a piece of shit. He's a cunt. Fuck him. He can't wrestle for shit. You know, he's a bit. Fuck New Jack. He's a bitch. Fuck New Jack. Fuck Jerome Taylor, whatever the fuck his name is. Jerome Young or whatever the fuck his name. I don't care. I don't give a shit what his name is. Fuck his name. Fuck New Jack. He's a bitch. Fuck him. But yeah, getting on to that, you know, they show about the ECW's first pay-per-view. They talk about how they got on TNN. And this is something that really bugged me. You know, this is, well, there are two things. Actually, when they did their first pay-per-view, first of all, they didn't have RVD booked on the show. And RVD, he was pissed. He did a shoot, and I 100% agree with Rob Van Dam. And let me tell you this, Rob Van Dam, he probably might not think this because he enjoyed ECW, aside from, being owed a lot of money. But I honestly thought, people talk about how RVD was misused in the WWE. Let me tell you something. ECW was no fucking saint either. Paul Heyman was no fucking saint either. All right, you had an opportunity, especially in around 1998, 1999, when RVD was real fucking hot, to give him the fucking world championship. And you kept him with the fucking TV title for 2 years. Which, I'm not going to complain about that, but he deserved to be in the main event. All right, he was the guy a lot of people came to see ECW for. All right, Rob Van Dam was the shit, and he, to this day, he's still one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And I first started watching him when he was in ECW. And I remember when he first came to the WWF, I was marking out, because I was like, oh shit, man, imagine. I literally, I think I told Diesel 101 Raw this, if RVD and Sabu came to the WWF, and they had like that really cool, like, the TLC matches that they had with Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, and the Hardy Boys, and then they made that into a fatal four-way. It would be the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and RVD and Sabu. In those tables, ladders, and chairs matches, those matches probably would have been even fucking better than they actually were. And they were great matches, but they would have definitely fucking been better if you add RVD and Sabu to those TLC, those classic TLC matches with the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. That would have been that would have been biblical. That would have been 100% biblical. But yeah, that pissed me off too, because RVD, as good as he was, and I'm surprised we never saw Bill Alfonso in the WWE, but I heard he got into a lot of heat there. But hey, I'm kind of, I don't care, because I don't give a shit about Bill Alfonso. But I just really, but I was surprised he never came in during the invasion. He was only there at the ECW One Night Stand, the first one. But yeah, there you go. And another thing that just really pissed me off was the whole TNN debacle. Now, let me tell you guys something. I marked out when Paul Heyman said what he said about TNN. I actually saw this when it aired on TV. Okay? And I was just like, wow. I remember I had to have been 12 years old. And I was just thinking to myself, at 12 years old, I knew the wrestling business. I don't want to say inside out like I do now, but I knew the wrestling business enough, because what people don't get is that we had internet in the 90s. We had internet in the late 90s, early 2000s. There were dirt sheets. It just wasn't as evolved as it is now. And honestly, I used to, and we also had pro wrestling magazines too. Keep in mind that. I remember I would always, when I was taking the train to school, I would always look for like WWE magazines or Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I would just try to look for any wrestling magazine I could. So I knew at 12 years old what the business was about. Not as much as I do now, but I knew that this was bullshit. Because at 12 years old, I knew for a fact that we have shows like South Park, Beavis and Butthead, Beavis and Butthead was canceled, but Jerry Springer. We have the Attitude Era, which is doing a lot of gnarly shit. Just look at the shit that was on fucking, like, literally, like, New York Undercover. There were so many shows in the 90s that were really pushing the envelope, and they didn't want to push ECW. I was all for Paul Heyman when he called out the network. And he made a parody where he got Cyrus the Virus, and he made that network stable. It was kind of like the right to censor in the WWF, and I marked out because I thought it was awesome, and I'm gonna agree with Paul Heyman. And the thing is, and I look at this today because there are some people, and Bubba Ray Dudley included, that said, And Vince McMahon and Bubba Ray Dudley said that, the show was too violent and it could never receive mainstream attention. And I want to call out bullshit. I want to call out complete and utter bullshit. Because if ECW was that violent and that extreme, it couldn't be mainstream. Then why was the Attitude Era mainstream? Why was South Park mainstream? Why was Jerry Springer mainstream? Why are all these girls? Why in the early 2000s? Why were all those Girls Gone Wild DVDs mainstream? All right. First of all, number one, these were still the Clinton years. Number two, so I can see ECW, like, it would definitely be watered down by today's standards because we live in such a bitch ass politically correct society filled with faggots and retards. But back then, not so much. I mean, you had a lot of really cool stuff. And I would even argue today, ECW would probably be well, first of all, it would be a hell of a lot more successful. Because, I mean, you look at, first of all, kids are playing Call of Duty. Kids are playing Grand Theft Auto. All right, even Batman has gotten a lot more edgier. The Batman comic books, Batman, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, even Arkham Knight got an M-rated rating. So I'm thinking to myself, as much as some of the more popular forms of pop culture and media are getting more mature, aside from today's WWE, of course. I mean, even The Walking Dead, a show that I think is an overrated piece of shit. And obviously, Family Guy and all, shows like that that are pushing the envelope. Why couldn't ECW stay on the air? What? Literally, ECW was not showing naked women. It wasn't like ECW was showing, like, porn on TV. It wasn't like Francine and Beulah McGillicuddy and all these chicks were getting fucking naked. It's not like they were like Dawn Marie was literally showing her tits on live TV. It wasn't like people were getting their heads decapitated and shit on ECW. All right, it wasn't that fucking violent. It really wasn't. It was violent, yes. But it wasn't like, oh my god, this is really bad stuff. ECW was probably a tiny bit more violent than the Attitude Era, but a tiny bit more violent than the Attitude Era. So you're telling me that ECW couldn't thrive on a network like a Spike TV, which TNN basically became Spike TV anyway. And TNA Impact was doing a lot of edgy stuff, from 2005, 2006. They were doing some quite a bit of edgy shit. So as far as I'm concerned, this whole ECW is too violent for TV is just a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. Because if Grand Theft Auto can be mainstream, then ECW can damn sure fucking be mainstream. If the Attitude Era and Family Guy and South Park can be mainstream, so can fucking ECW. If Springer at one point during the late 90s could be mainstream, then so can fucking ECW. Alright, this shit is stupid. It really is fucking stupid. Okay? ECW, and let me tell you the reason ECW died. And the Sandman, he talks about this too in an interview that he did. ECW died because Paul Heyman was giving all the money that they were making off merchandise sales and all this other shit, they were giving it to TNN, hoping they would keep them on the network. And this is kind of like what Dixie Carter is doing right now with TNA. They were paying all this money to Spike TV. They were paying money to Destination America, and they still kicked them off. And I don't know if they're paying money to Pop TV now. I heard they got on a new network. I don't know. But, that's where all the money was going. Because they were paying networks to have them on their fucking networks. And that's the only reason it died. And also, Paul Heyman mentions we couldn't get on another network in time. That's another reason why it died. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Paul Heyman and the Sandman basically told you why ECW died. It wasn't because the product was too fucking violent. No, that's a bitch excuse. No, and if you believe that, you're a fucking naive fool. But yeah, I love this DVD. It really goes into a lot of detail about the history of ECW, how it became ECW. It shows like how the wrestlers had a lot of other jobs to help keep the company alive. Like Taz designed the T-shirts. Bubba Ray Dudley, um, he had a business background, and he helped out with ECW. Tommy Dreamer and Nunzio and I think another guy, they drove like trucks and stuff, and with all the shirts and stuff in them, like they would like literally drive the trucks. And I mean, and I have to respect. I have to respect this company. I really do have to respect ECW. I really have to respect. And I'm not a fan of Tommy Dreamer. I am not a fan of Tommy Dreamer. And I want to hear this shit. Oh, well, he's from New York. He's from Yonkers. Your hometown. Shut the fuck up. I am not a fan of Tommy Dreamer, but I respect Tommy Dreamer. And I also thought one other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit, I didn't really get a chance to talk about, was how it was just kind of cool to see Mike Awesome versus Taz for the ECW title. My thing, and here's my thing about this. There's a lot of people that give, and Joey Styles is one of them, that give Mike Awesome, may he rest in peace, a lot of shit for going to WCW. And the same thing with Sabu in 1995. Bro, as much as respect I have for ECW, you were not paying these guys a livable wage. All right. Sabu was making a living in Japan. All right. He wasn't leaving ECW forever. He just couldn't be there at that one show. All right. Literally, Paulie, chill the fuck out. And Mike Awesome, same thing. He was probably offered a lot more money in WCW. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Like, I do disagree with what Mike Awesome did, like being champion and not giving the belt back to Paul Lee, when he came to Nitro. And there was like a whole thing, like they were going to throw the ECW title in the trash or something like that. And, that would have honestly, that would have been interesting TV, but it would have been fucked up because it really would have made ECW look bad. But I'm just a huge fan of that stuff. I loved it when Medusa threw the women's title in the trash on Nitro. I'm just a huge fan of like just shocking, crazy moments of wrestling like that. But I don't have anything against Sabu or Mike Awesome, like ECW likes. No. But anyway, guys, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. And I just, one other thing I really want to talk about. Fuck Ring of Honor. Fuck all you people that think Ring of Honor is the next ECW. It's not even fucking close. You dumb fucking assholes on the internet that want to praise and ran around like Ring of Honor is the new ECW just because it's an independent company that has a hardcore fan base. No, ECW would take a shit and destroy Ring of Honor. Okay, like I said before, Ring of Honor couldn't sell out a high school gym. ECW at least sold out bingo halls, and that's a fact. I'm done here. Later.